Hello. Okay. All right. So we have 10 people online. So I think we can start. So good morning, everybody on here in person and in our YouTube channel. So people are watching on the YouTube. So again, thank you for joining us on this Open IL session, hashtag Workshop Wednesdays. And today I will be your moderator. I'm April. I'm a reference librarian and I'm the subject librarian for SSH. And I will be moderating this Open IL session. So today's event is actually part of our initiatives to provide some insights on how to spot the difference between reputable and predatory journals. So this is very much essential for especially for those who are on the academic writing, on journal publishing, those who would like to know more about how to publish their articles on the journal. So in line with our workshop Wednesdays, this Open IL sessions aims to explore the difference between reputable and predatory journals, identify the various criteria to look out for when writing or submitting manuscripts to a journal, and to understand the value of journals ranking or journal ranking based on impact factor, quartile, and etc. So actually for today, we have invited two speakers. This is an hybrid event. So we have one speaker who is on site and one is online. So for our first session, we have something about exploring predatory journals. And the session 2 is about journal ranking based on impact factor and quartile. So let's give our first session about exploring predatory journals. But before I start with the first session, allow me to introduce first our speaker for today. Our speaker is Zhuldyz Orazymbetova. Zhuldyz is currently the subject librarian for CPS and GSB. She is the team lead of Citation. I hope that I pronounce it right. Member of international projects in the field of information literacy, direct, and inclusive education, which is DECIDE, of the European Union's Erasmus program. Coordinator, she is also a coordinator of the Academic Integrity Project and the project under the EU Social Development Fund Infoscientific. Okay, I pronounced it right. So without further ado, may I call on Ms. Zhuldyz Orazymbetova. Oh.
Thank you, April. Let me change the presentation. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our today's workshop. Now, I will continue with my first part of the session. So we will talk about predatory journals. So, as you may know that in accordance with development of the internet, we have like problem or issue with predatory journals. So predatory journals is an exploitative academic publishing business model that involves charging publication fees to authors without checking articles for quality, for legitimacy, and without providing editorial and publishing services that legitimate academic journal usually provide, whether it is open access or not. But before we will talk about predatory journals, let's discuss about what kind of models usually academic journals have. So first of them, traditional journal. Before open access journals found, we had only traditional access journal model. So for traditional journal model, usually authors submit article. Then journal review the article. Then in this model, there is no article processing charge, and access for the full text is available through subscription. It means they have like paid access to the full text. Why? Because this is like business model when it is traditional access journal. So it means that only author will pay. Yeah, I mean only readers will pay, but also will publish free of charge. Then next model is open access journal model. So within this publishing, author submits the article, then the journal review the article, and author or founder pays an article processing charge, and access for the full text is free because author pay for the article. Then readers, they read free. And the third model is hybrid access journal model. It is usually traditional access journal, but they like provide some open access, like let's say they provide open access variant. And within this journal, also author submits the article, then the article is usually reviewed, and author makes decision himself or herself whether he or she will have open access to the publication or it won't be open access. Then depends on access, the author will pay article processing charge. So it means if the author choose to have like open access article with this journal, the author will pay. But if it will be not open access, the only readers will pay for the full text of article. But now we have the first like model of the journal. We shouldn't say like model because this journal generally shouldn't exist. But we have the fourth kind of journal, and we call them predatory journals. So any article for predatory journals are published without any checking for the quality and practically without any peer review. Just pay money and we will publish. So this is like way how this business model works. And talking about predatory journals, we should know that we can divide them into two kinds, like two types: fake journals and predatory journals. So fake journals, it is journal which is non-existent, which is not exist because it isn't indexed anywhere. So also we can check this journal in directory open access journal website. So if we see that this journal is not in this website, so it is non-existent journal. Then fake journal can be clone of existing journal. It means again it is fake because it is just clone. This is not original journal. Then again, it is not indexed in any databases like Scopus, Web of Science, JSTOR, and payment for publishing can be so low, like a symbolic price for the publishing. Invitation, they usually send like spamming, some mails about like, please, we invite you to be published in our journal, etc. And usually they work with agents who usually helps maybe authors to publish their article in different journals. And next type, predatory journals. So it's really easy to identify what are fake journals because they really not exist, and we can just check it within this website. But when we are talking about predatory journals, they exist. It is existing open access journal. When we check them within GOAJ, we see that they exist. And sometimes predatory journals can be indexed in databases such as Scopus, even Web of Science. I know that after some, if Web of Science will see that this journal is indexed in Web of Science and it has really low quality. Of course, it will be like a decline there, but during some time, they really can be indexed in that abstract databases. Payment for, they also request payment for publishing. They send some emails, advertisement about publishing, and you also work with agents. Here I provide you some titles of fake journals. For example, 21 fake journals that are created by a group from Hyderabad. It's in India. So just the title of the journals, and please pay attention to the website of one of the journal. You see, like it's with unpleasant interface, and we see so many unnecessary information here. So like this is fake journal website. Here's some maybe popular links to the fake journals. We see that these journals are really popular in the world because there are many authors who publish their articles in these journals, and unfortunately they lost their articles because they are already published, but they are not peer reviewed and they're not in like original journal. So as I said, it is really easy to identify fake journals. Yeah, but it is a little bit hard to identify predatory journals. So there are some rules or criteria that could help you to identify them. And first one is the information about payment. So they usually request symbolic fee for publication in a journal. It can be about $300, $400 or euro. And pay attention. For example, I provide you information about Health Policy Journal. It's Elsevier publisher, and they like request more than $3,000 for publication. So original journals, they request not symbolic price. They request the payment which is really appropriate for the publication. And mostly predatory journals offer to pay immediately. So for example, you contact the predatory journals, we talked, we discussed, and then maybe after short time, they offer you to pay for the publication. So you should think why it happens, why they request payment first, and why the fee of the publication is so low. And this is the question. The next criteria is no review procedure or fast peer review. So only predatory journals can provide fast review. And think about publication timing, because only predatory journals can publish in fast, can provide fast publication. So for example, I provide you interface of one predatory journals, and you see the information about a publication. They say that submission deadline is September 10, well, date of publication September 20. There are only 10 days to decide will this article be published or not. So it doesn't work like this, because for original journals, it will take more than maybe 3 months, 2 months for review, but it's not like within 10 days or 1 week, etc. Next, use predatory metrics. Predatory journals use predatory metrics such as global impact factor, general impact factor, world trend impact factor, international impact factor, cosmos impact factor, site factor, IGSI impact factor. There are so many kind of impact factors, really. But we should know that impact factor can be used only by Web of Science. Yeah, it really can be used only by Web of Science, and impact factor of Web of Science are appropriate for scientists to decide about quality of the journal, but not these metrics. Next criteria, think, check the editorial board, because sometimes predatory journals do not specify editorial board. Sometimes they can, for example, the example of the journal, the title of the journal, International Journal of Pharmaceutical Science Inventions. This is international journal. It means they should have international editorial board. But in their editorial board, they have only 6 people, and 2 of them from the India, 1 of them from Pakistan, and 2 of them from, I guess, Africa. So it isn't really international journal because they don't have international editorial board. And we should pay attention to the small, to the geography of editorial board. If you see small geography, it's again question to think about: is it international journal or not? Yeah, because for the international, even for the scientific journal, the editorial should be editorial board should be like more international. They should have like more people in that group. And just think other places of work and positions indicated. So when you see the list of editorial board, you see where this person works, and can you check it? Does this person really work there, or does really this person have this position in that working place? And do you know the names of these people? I mean, is it checkable? Can you check it in Google Scholar, in other authors' profile or other authors' web page? Can you check it? Or can you go to the like university website where this author works and find this author there? Is it really easy to find? Okay, but if you cannot find, it is again like reason to think. And it is impossible to see location. Sometimes you can find a journal where in the website you cannot find editorial board information. So if you see the website of journal where editorial board cannot be found, it means this journal works incorrectly. So it means you should leave this website, because you see that editorial board does not exist there. So just leave it. Predatory journals accept articles in one journal in many related areas. So here I provide you like list of articles from only from one journal, and you can see the topics are really different. We have articles on medicine, on economics, so like they're different, but they are in one journal. So this is again the reason to say that this journal is predatory journal. Predatory journal has a similar name with famous journal. It also can be, for example, you see Oxford Review of Education. This is original journal of Taylor and Francis. And here we see predatory journals that has similar name, like it's similar with the original journal. But this one is predatory. And again, there was a case when Kazakhstani authors from Kazakhstani university, from one university in Nur-Sultan, unfortunately, published in the journal, which has the name of American Historical Review. But the journal where they published has some letter, let's say, mistakes. Like historical, we know that HISTORICAL, historical. But that journal had the title like HYSTOREICAL, like historical with Y. So pay attention to the title. It's also could be checked by you. Website design, presence of pop-up and blinking elements, grammatical errors. So if you see that the website of the journal has too many information, like advertisement, like congratulations, or information about them, like we are leading journal in this area, we are the best, we are the we should, like, you should exactly publish your article in our journal. You see this information, this kind of information, again, think about this journal. Maybe this journal is a predatory one. So you see the two examples of journals. The first one is original journal, and the second one is predatory journal. And you see on predatory journal, there are too many unnecessary information. Like it is, this journal is indexed in Scholar, CNKI, Scholar, ERA, ERIC. So they don't have any, I mean, they don't provide details what this information means for the author. So, and again, you see that the interface of the journal unpleasant also. Next, pay attention to the, again, to the information for authors. So any journal website should have information for author. It can be like usually they are called like a guideline for author, or just for author, or rules for author. So if you see that there are no any rules or guidelines for the author in the journal website, it means this journal also is not original journal, because they don't provide any information for the author. They don't provide guideline about referencing, about formatting the body of the article. And again, check the archive. You can find any article from the archive of that journal and put it into the web of science, for example, and you can see, can you find this article in Web of Science? Can you see this article in Scopus? If you see, this is another question. You can investigate it more. But if you don't see this article in these databases, it means they are predatory. Pay attention to the invitation. So when we are talking about invitation, it doesn't mean that original journal never send invitation. They can send invitation. For example, if you are like author who has best article for this year, or you have high citation, you are like a star in scientific environment, let's say. So they can send you invitation, maybe, but it is mostly used by predatory journals when they send invitation like, we have read your recent article, please send your next article to our journal. Okay, so they used to send this invitation for the authors. And if you see that journal like spamming, they can send you one invitation twice in a week, or maybe they change the invitation, but it is the same journal, so it is predatory. They are looking for client for their business, but they are not interested to publish your article and make you like a good scientist, let's say. They have only business, and they are not interested in equality, let's say. So here, unfortunately, in 2015 and in 2016, there were a lot of articles from Kazakhstan that were published in predatory journals. And here, example of 2015, here you can see 3, let's say, popular predatory journals that were used by our Kazakhstani authors. And unfortunately, we lost more than 1,000 articles. We really lost them. Why? Because they were already published in open access and everybody read them. It means you cannot republish them. You cannot, because you lost it. You should work. Maybe it really harmful to the reputation of scientists. So that's why we should avoid predatory journals, thinking about our time, our reputation. So, and suggestions. Here I would like to suggest you to check all the time, to check your journals with Directory of Open Access Journals. If you see this journal is in this website, it means this is existing open access journal. But this is only first stage, because after that you should check it further, like for details. So you see this is existing journal and it is indexed in the Directory of Open Access Journals. The second way, you should check like the website of the journal, editorial board of the journal, target group of the journal, who read, who use, who publicate journal articles in this journal, and so on. So this is the first way, stage. You should check this journal with this database. Does this journal exist or not? Second one, check the publishing model in Sherpa Romero. Sorry. There is a website that is called Sherpa Romero. This database is used to check the policy of the journal, because as I said, we have three models, like traditional access journals, open access, and hybrid open access journals. So if you would like to check what kind of models this journal has, you should go to this website. The next, check if the journal is indexed in Web of Science, because Web of Science is a database which really check journals each 3 months, even each month. I know that they have like 4 package, and they divide each journal for this 4 package, and they check them each time. Are they like legitimate journal or not? So next, ignore predatory metrics. As I mentioned, in global impact factor, general impact factor, we have only impact factor of Web of Science. That's it. Next, remember, only predatory journals promise fast peer review and fast publication. Also, I would like to suggest you to use checklist. I will give you a link for the checklist further in the next slide. So please use this checklist before you will submit, because this checklist will help you like help you to discover what you need to know when assessing whether or not a publisher is suitable for your research. Then next, contact your subject librarian all the time if you are not sure about this journal, or if you would like to know more in details. So contact your subject librarian. Then subject librarian will assist you to investigate or to assess this journal. Here are some useful links for you. So I provide some links that can be used by authors, by researchers. So first one, list of predatory journals for 2022, about information about open access and information about open science. So what is open science? So open access journal quality indicators, then information about indexing in Scopus, and last one, check, think, check, submit. So the checklist can be found in the last link. Okay. So do you have question? Because the next, I would like to launch Kahoot with you to check what do you explored about predatory journals. I would like to say that online participants also can play Kahoot with us.
Mhm.
For Kahoot players, we have
questions here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, basically, sometimes it's really hard to define, like, practically without a review. And sometimes, like, this open access journals, like, there is a review, but but depends. It may be a place for conflicts of interest. It may be just a very formal thing. It may even last not just a week, but let's say a month or two, or maybe 3. Yeah, I think that's a lot of gray area. And this is the first question. The second question is, and it's a huge debate about these predatory journals in Russia. And one of the issues which is often hotly debated, is an MDPI a predatory publishing and agency? Because in some cases it does resemble really, but some other people argue not really, or maybe this is some third answer. Well, that some MDPI journals are predatory and others are not. Yeah, can you maybe elaborate on this gray area? Gray area is the fake. It's a great description of the fake journals are really easy to identify. Some predatory also. It's a lot of conflict of interest, invitation, intrusive marketing, and so on. But some are masquerading under the decent journals and saying, well, we just need payments because we want to give you a quality, which is actually not the case.
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for your questions. And yeah, I really agree with you that today it's a little bit hard to identify them, because they are trying to keep their business, and they see that we train people how to identify these journals. That's why they prolong their peer review time. Sometimes they can maybe request much more payment, not 300 or 4. They can request $500, right? And then they work in it. They try to make better their work. But wherever we should investigate clearly, we should check. I would say that we should check not only website of the journal, editorial of the journal. We should also investigate the authors who published in this journal, because there is the good. I had one really good practice when the journal indexed in Scopus, and this journal published more than 500 articles in a year. But when I checked the authors, most of them was from Central Asia countries only. But this is international journal from America. Why only people from Asia are published there? This is the question. So we should check geography of the authors also. Then we should check citation. If we see there are many self-citation there, only authors who publish in this journal cite each other. This is also question. This is also reason to think, is this journal original or good journal? Yeah, citation could be checked also. And the next one, we should check, does this journal have clones? Sometimes, again, it was one practice in Kazakhstan when one of the best journal in Web of Science had the clone, and the email, editorial boards, all information was dissimilar, and authors who published their article in Predatory Journal, they sent all information to that email, which is really exists in original journal also. So then original journal emailed us this is predatories. They steal information from our website. They are IT specialists. They did clearly, and we are not we didn't know about it. Maybe that's right, but maybe that journal decided to have much money more, maybe. So that's why we should check everything. We should clearly check the authors who publish. I don't want to say maybe something incorrectly, but there are many journals that publish articles only from developing countries. So it means this is predatory one, because they work with the people who are low in information literacy. Maybe they don't know many information about predatory journals. They are easy person who they can invite to publish. Yeah, the time of publication is not best criteria, but this is one, and we should like use all of them to investigate. Could you please tell me, could I answer your question for the first question? Yeah. The second question was about agents, right?
MDPI.
Yeah, I have never heard about this agent because they work with Russian Federation, right?
Oh, it's actually a super. I think it's basically a really huge hub, which publishes some journals which, like, for many people are reputable. I think it's published a lot of frontiers, for instance, in different sciences. And it's, I think, run by a Chinese business, but it's located in Switzerland. It's like, registered and so on. And and I have heard like, really different opinions. It's an open access. So it charges, and it charges a lot. But like, I've never dealt with it, and it's more for, I think, for natural sciences, not even exact sciences, but specifically natural sciences. And some people are saying, well, it's actually a good, like, it's a really reputable thing. And others, well, see at their practices, it's not so.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have journals, again, that are indexed in Web of Science or Scopus, but they work with agents. So the idea, if you see that this journal works with agents, so it means maybe after some time, they will lose their reputation. Even they are reputable today, they will lose it tomorrow because they work with agency. They are like losing their reputation working with this kind of business. So you should think about future. If you see this journal in these agents, just again, try to forget about this journal because after some time, they will lose their reputation working with such kind of companies, let's say. Yeah, and unfortunately, in Kazakhstan, we also have several popular agents that usually often offer their business to the authors. And to be honest, we have many authors from other regions of Kazakhstan who does not have like knowledge about predatory journals. And again, they have like requests from the admin of the university, like you should publish. We should have manual of publication for our university. You should do it. So because of this, authors like are looking for easy way to publish their articles. So this is the really problem for our country. So that's why librarians should provide like such kind of trainings for the authors.
Okay.
So thank you for your question.
Any questions? Okay. So
Do you have
there is
questions on YouTube or not?
no question from the YouTube, but there's one remark that maybe also to check reviewers and their profiles. Example in Publons.
Yeah, that's a
a
good
good
suggestion.
suggestion. I actually totally agree with Zhuldyz about, some professors are really trying to have the easiest way to publish. So again, maybe my take on that is that as a responsible researcher, you have to check different facades, different factors, check the journal, critical checking of all those items, right? I have some questions here. We have some questions on the chat. On the YouTube. Today, open access is not equal to predatory.
Open access is not,
Open access
not equal.
is not equal to predatory. Or maybe the question is, at some point, can we check if open access is sometimes a predatory?
So let's start from that. Predatory journals can be only open access. There are no predatory journals with traditional access model. They are all of them are open access, but it doesn't mean that all open access are predatory. That's why we should check the journals before we publish, especially open access journals. And again, I would like to add something. Maybe several years ago, we had another criteria to check the predatory journals. That was like, we should check website, if this website like exists. But today it doesn't work because like any person can create a website and it can be an original website. That's why this is not criteria today. Second one was ISSN. Like we should use issnorg.com to see does this ISSN original one. It doesn't work also because nowadays IT specialists who needs to like develop their business, they know how to do it. So checking ISSN, we cannot guarantee that this journal was checked because it doesn't work. Again, before we said that please pay attention for the like information in the website. If you write like we are leading journal, it's predatory. But today they can write, any journal can write we are leading in our area. It's okay. But several years ago we told authors that if they write this information, they are too open to publication to the authors. It means they are not good one. But so I mean, some criteria from the last years, they don't work. That's why we should fresh all these criteria, and we should fresh our knowledge about this.
Yeah. Maybe just one question. If we are talking about predatory journals, right? Most of the time we encounter the Bell's list. Are you familiar with the Bell's list? Yeah. Is it still relevant? Can we still use Bell's list?
Yeah. If I see this person in person, I would say thank you because he really did good job during this time when predatory journals became popular. But as I know, he stopped doing this activity because maybe it takes much time first, and second, maybe some journals like maybe emailed him, could you please stop it? I don't know, but he deleted his list from the website. But we have some clones of that list, and you see, I showed before one link, list of predatory journals. This website is really good because all predatory journals which exist in the world, they are like available in alphabetic order. And when you go to this website, you see the title, and really they really have general titles, and we should visit this website just to see and to remember these titles. Yeah, it's like a synonym of Bill's list.
Bell's list. Yeah. So thank you for that. Zhuldyz, before we formally end your session, a round of applause for Zhuldyz. Yeah, thank you.
There are no questions. Let's start our Kahoot.
Okay.
And so we have some prizes from Clarivate Analytics.
Yeah, thank you, Clarivate, for the sponsor of this.
Yeah. And let me again remind you that the second part will be presented by Inesh Kenzhina. She's a representative of Clarivate Analytics in Central Asia, and they provide us some prizes for you, for participants. Now let me start our Kahoot. So
those on the online can join, right?
Yeah. Everybody can join.
Okay.
In order to join the game, you should open Kahoot It. Now I'm going to start here.
Okay, so those online, you can join the Kahoot game. And even here, especially here, those in person, okay? Yeah, we have 12 on YouTube at the moment. So
we have 12 people, right?
Yeah.
So let's wait for people. Now let me share. Let me start the game. Okay. Yeah, it has 7 questions related to the topic.
So you know the drill. Just go to Kahoot.it, right? That it,
Yeah.
and put this code.
Yeah, game. You should put this game pin.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt is here. Yeah. We are waiting for others. Please, participant from the YouTube, join our game.
So again,
Gary
thank you
is
to
here.
Clarivate for the prizes. We have what's in stake
Yeah.
for the prize. We have
For
what's
the
this?
third place, we have carpet for the mouse.
Yeah, mouse pad.
Yeah.
Next.
For the second place, we have a notebook.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first place, we have flash drive.
Yeah,
USB flash drive.
Yeah.
From Clarivate Analytics.
Okay, we have
Oh, Kai and DJ here. I hear Elmira Adel. Okay. Let's wait maybe 1 minute and then we will start, right? Because maybe someone doesn't want to play.
Can start. So we have 6 participants and hopefully 3 of them will win the prize. Okay. Yeah, so this can start. Oh, we have wow, 7
person here.
Okay, cool.
So let's start.
Sure.
So the first question. Access to the full text is available via subscription. It means paid. So red one, open access publishing model. Yellow, traditional access publishing model. Blue, hybrid access publishing model. And green, predatory publishing. Which of them provide full text access via subscription? Yeah, we have only one person who answered correctly. Next. Oh, Matt, congratulations. The next question, select criteria that do not fit fake journal. Non-existent journal, clone over existing journal, invitation, index in Web of Science. Which of these criteria do not fit a fake journal? Okay, again, one person gave correct answer. Oh, Matt, it's you. Third question, scientific journal indexed in Web of Science can be predatory. True or false? Journal indexed in Web of Science can be predatory. Mm-hmm. 3 people answered. Okay, next question. Explore the interface of the website below. It will be showed. And what's your first impression about this journal? Is it open access, predatory journal, hybrid access journal, or you have no idea?
So there's some comments on the chat. I can't see the questions. So the questions comes with a delay at some point. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that. So we see 3 people gave answered, and Matt
Oh,
is
so
first
DJ
again.
is trying to
Yeah.
come from behind.
Yeah. So let's continue. Which of the following are predatory metrics? Global impact factor, international impact factor, all of the above. which of the following are predatory metrics? Oh, Kai is the second. The sixth question, DOAJ is database of open access journals, delivery of open access journals, directory of open access journals, all above. I'm me, subject librarian for SSH. True or false? Yeah, and 2 people said correctly. Yeah, I'm not subject librarian for SSH. I'm subject librarian for GSB and CPS. So DJ is the third, Kai is the second, and Matt is the first one. Woo! Our congratulations. So Matt and DJ are here, right? Who is DJ?
I don't know.
So Kai is not here, right? So we
Yeah.
kindly ask you to come to the library, room 324, and to get your prizes, Kai and DJ.
Yeah,
So
but
Matt
for Matt,
is-
yay. Awardings.
This is for you.
From Clarivate. Thank you, Clarivate.
Yes. April. can we
Okay.
start together?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Picture time.
Picture time. Yay.
Yeah.
Documentation. All right. So I think that's it for Zhuldyz.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zhuldyz. So I think we need to go to the next part. Yeah. I hope that okay. Okay, I hope that Inesh is ready. So before we formally start our session on journal ranking based on impact factor and quartile, may I first introduce Inesh. So Inesh is a PhD holder in nuclear physics. She is also an official representative of Clarivate in Central Asian region and a leading researcher in materials for fusion and fission. She also has 10 years of experience in science, scientific supervisor of projects. She is also an invited editor for special issues in international peer-reviewed journals, a consultant in science development with targeted individual approach, and a graduate of Al-Farabi Kazakh National University. She is from Kurchatov, Kazakhstan. So without further ado, let's call on Inesh on the online. Hi, Inesh.
Hello. It's great to present today. So thank you for the invitation. So it's great to be here, even online. So it's a very interesting session. It's a great organization. So I would like to express a gratitude to you. So let's start. Yeah, my presentation. I think we also will have time for questions if you have such questions. So now let's start with my presentation. I hope you could see my slides.
Yes, we can see your slide.
Yeah, thank you so much. Today, I would like to talk about the journal ranking based on our Web of Science metrics. And the main metrics of this is the impact factor and the quartile that defines the quality of the journal. So also today, I will show you the live demonstration in our system in the Web of Science, how to define, where to find, and because it's very necessary to know how to use these tools for your journals. So now let's start, and we know that why actually do we need databases? So as previously Zhuldyz said that there is a lot of information today and we cannot define, it's very difficult to define which journals are fake journal, which is a predatory journal, and which is the real journal. So, and our database, Web of Science core collection, is a filter for the scientific information, where you can find the peer-reviewed international journals that meet the most strict criteria in the world for the quality. And also Clarivate is a neutral publisher, so we don't belong to any publisher, so we don't have our own publishers. We accept journals for all publishers, but the best criteria is the quality of the journal. And we have our own editorial board that select journals, so we don't invite other people, other scientists from different places to select journals. So we have our own journal editors that do this job. So it's very neutral and objective procedure to select the journals in our database. So it's like a wide list of journals where you can find the best journals for yourself, to publish, the journals for the correct literature review, because we need to rely on the reliable journals, you know. And the one of important things that I would like to notice that there are different metrics. So today we talk about metrics, and if you hear and read the metrics such as quartile, impact factor, and you see some names like journal citation report, science citation index expanded, social science citation index, art and humanities citation index, you know, in many normative documents here in Kazakhstan and all over the world, you have such metrics. And it means that these metrics that I list are indexed, belong to the Web of Science core collection. So if you hear the quartile impact factor, this is the Web of Science core collection. If you hear the metrics like the percentile, SGR, SNP, and others, that belong to Scopus. So you need to attentively read by which database you have to see the metrics. And there is no direct correlation between these metrics, you know, because when people often ask me, so if the journals have the quartile 3, how much the percentile will be in Scopus? So I cannot say. You should check separately in Scopus and separately in Web of Science to understand the metrics. Yes, it's very important, because I asked many times this question, so please be careful. And all these metrics, all these criteria you can see in the Web of Science journal citation reports. So this is our tool that shows the metrics of the journals. And even if you are a journal editor, if you are a researcher, you could see the precise report on journal appearance in the database, how it looks, and what are metrics now. I will show how to work with this tool in the live demonstration. So I think we will have time for that. First of all, I need to show you some slides for the preview, and then I will show you how to work with this. Let's talk first about the impact factor. What is the impact factor? So this is one of the main metrics in Web of Science that show how often journals is cited. And you can find these metrics in the journal citation reports, and journal impact factor is defined by this relation. And you know that for nowadays, I can find only impact factor for 2021, because it's the most latest impact factor that are available now. So you can define the calculation of impact factor by this formula. So this relation between citations in 2021 to items published in 2022 plus 2029. So the publication window is 2 years, yeah, and we define the impact factor for these 2 years. And we should divide by number of citable items in 2022 plus 2029. So citable items, it's not all the articles, yeah, it's only articles and reviews, some conference proceedings, books, chapter of books, so it's not counted, only articles and review. And how to check this, or also show it in the list demonstration. You know that we don't have only one metric. Why? Yeah, why do we need another one metric? Why do we need the quartiles? You know that the citation rate, the citation level in different areas are different. For example, you know that in medicine, citations became more rapidly, yeah, citation appears more rapidly than, for example, in history or economics, because, you know, in medicine, the area is developing very fast and citation come much more faster. So we cannot say by only numerical impact factor. So 5 impact factor, it's a big impact factor or small impact factor. I cannot say exactly because it depends on the area and how and what we did, what our database did to cope with this question. All the areas, all the journals in the database, we divided into 254 categories. They are very narrow categories and very specialized categories. So in all these categories, journals are ranked from the high impact factor to the lower impact factor. And this list we divided by the quarter, yeah. So, and the first quarter is like first 25% of the most cited journals in this field, then the second one, third, and fourth. So the most, and when we talk about our colleagues, yeah, even from the, like I'm from the material science, and they talk with the colleague with physics, and we cannot compare our journals directly. We just can say, I will publish in a journal Q2, or he will choose Q1, yeah, and that's why we can compare our journals that we publish to. So if we talk about the quality, we talk about the quartile. And you know, now in Kazakhstan, in many normative documents, you see only the quartile or the name of the collection. You don't see the numerical value of the impact factor. So because numerical value, it's not so important. We need to talk, we need to take into attention the quartile of the journal, because it reflects the citation in the area, yeah? So it's fair to do so. Because, you know, you can see the example. For example, here the journal, I represent the Journal of Energy Reports, and here you can see the numerical value of the impact factor. And we cannot say it's too much or too small. Some people will say it's overage, some people can say it's big, but to understand correctly, we need to see here, yeah, and the quartile is Q2. And you know that this journal is indexed in the energy fuels category and is placed on the 58th place of out of 190. Yeah, so in this area, the citation rate is quite high, you know, and these journals belong to the quartile 2. So we can see this, and this is a very perfect guide how to publish, where to choose journals. And the higher the quartile is the most citable, it's the most famous journal. And if you publish in a high quality journals, you have a chance to be cited more, to be cited on a more high level. So it's very, very important when you publish your article. And if you have, for example, a very good work, a very good result, and you can estimate your result as good one, yeah, because you know your field. It's better to choose the most high quality journals. So now I will show you the live demonstration in Web of Science, because it's the most important part to know how to identify these metrics and how to compare these metrics in different fields. So to access the Web of Science database, we need to go to webofscience.com from your institution first. For example, if you are in the university, you can go using university internet. You can go for Web of Science.com and the start page will be open. Then you can register in the Web of Science database. You can use any email, even private email. You don't need to use the email only of your university. Just you need to open up it from the university internet. It's very important. And then you can register with any email and then work from your home, from somewhere, from any place you want to work. So I would like to show you some useful links, and then we will go to the live demonstration in Web of Science. I will send you the presentation. So because you have here the useful links, and we have our websites, we have our YouTube channel in English and in Russian in 2 languages. Also, we have our webinars that are going every month, and this is the link for webinars in Russian, and here is the link for webinars in English. So you can find whatever is more convenient for you and choose the right thing to, or the right webinar you need. So there are different topics every month, and if you would like something more specific, you can suggest a topic, and we will think about this topic and develop a new webinar for you. So we are open for the suggestions. Please, if you have suggestions, you can make them in the Q&A session. So I will send this exact presentation for you to have all these links. Okay, let's go for the live demonstration. Now I will go for a new demonstration, and I will share my screen. And here you can see our database and how to work with these tools. For example, here you can see our start page, and I'm already registered, and you need to be registered to have access to these products that we have in our subscription. So, and today we talk about metrics. So to know precisely about metrics, we need to go for the journal citation reports. And you need to be registered to work with these tools. And you have one registration for all the tools that are listed here. So it's very convenient. Yeah, you don't need to have many accounts. You just can use one account and work with our tools. So journal citation reports, it's a like list of journals with all the metrics that we have. And here we can see the different filters like journals, categories, publishers, countries, region. For example, we can go for any of these categories. Here we also can check the journal. For example, you need to check the name of the journal, and you can type it here, and you will find whether this journal is in the database. It's just like, for example, yeah, like journals of nuclear materials, yeah, and you can see, oh yes, we see such a journal, and we can watch the journal metrics. So you can check easily journals like this, for example, you need some information, and you can see here that information. What we need to pay attention to when we choose the journals, to what metrics? First of all, for example, we often need some publication for something. For example, I need to fulfill my PhD degree and I need the publication for that. Or I need to apply for some contest, for some call, and I need the publication for that. And to have precisely the, this article to the time, you need to pay attention to the publication frequency. And the more frequent the journal published his issues, the more possibility that you get in time for the publishing. So please pay attention to this publication frequency. It's very, very important. So if we go below, we can see the journal's performance, we can see the impact factor of the journal, and when we talk about the quartile, we use this impact factor. It's journal impact factor for the previous year, so the most like latest impact factor that we have. Here you can see the calculation, yeah, how many citations this journal have, and how many number of citable items the journal has. So it's very clear, it's very fair for all the journals. So we don't hide any information. All information for all journals is available in the database. And if you would like to check, for example, some MDPI journals, yes, as was questioned before, you can also go for the journal citation report, find this MDPI publisher and check the journal you would like to publish or would not like to publish, and you could decide looking for these characteristics of the journal. So here you can see the journal impact factor most contributing items. So it's the most cited items in the journal. So it also could be very interesting if you have, for example, the topic is closely related to this. Also, if go below, you can see. Sorry, little bit internet connection. I'm sorry. Oh, here you can see another indicator, JCI. It's a journal citation indicator. It was a new indicator that was involved in the Web of Science, but it's not connected to any, not involved to any governmental documents, to any normative documents. So in Kazakhstan and mostly in the world, we don't pay attention to this indicator. So please don't mix it up with other indicators. So if we need to pay attention only to quartile for JCR, yeah, for journal citation report and impact factor, and we can decide. So JCI, it's not counted. So let's see about any other distributions. So here we can see the publishing model of the journal. You can see how many articles are published in the open access journal. You can understand the publication model of the journal. Is it hybrid journal or is it open access journal? If you have some articles published in open access and some of articles are published in subscription, you can see that there is only a hybrid journal. If you have only open access, it means this journal is only open access. So we can see, you can check for these metrics here. So, and this is run by the journal impact factor that we are paying attention to. That is very reliable and included in our documents in Kazakhstan and all over the world. So you can see that which quartile was journal during the years, yeah, how it was moving, how it was progressing, and in which categories it's indexed. So sometimes it happens that, for example, this journal in two categories, it has two different quartiles. So here it has Q1 in the nuclear science and technology, and in material science it has Q3. So there is no problem. If you are more specialized, like in nuclear science, you can choose this journal as Q1. So when this journal is counted as Q1. So you can see all this. This GCI, so we don't pay attention to, it's not representative for our country and for our documents. So here you can see also any other metrics. Yeah, you can now then go and see many interesting things about the journal. And in my webinar for editors, for journal editors, that I will also hold today, but they will be in Russian. I will talk more about this more precisely from the side of the journal editor. So I also will send links if you are interested in these topics. So also here, the most important thing, as was said before, that here we can see the contributions by organizations and contributions by country region. Yeah, for example, this is an international journal, and you can see that, of course, this is a really international journal because there is countries like USA, China, France, Japan. You can see a lot of countries from different parts of the world. Yeah, and you can see the journal. Oh, it's quite reliable journal. So it's very international journal, as was stated, as was said. So you can see here, you can check it, and here you can check what kind of organization are contributed to the journals also. because sometimes there are quite close journals. For example, there are Chinese journals that only accept Chinese authors. They don't accept authors from different parts of the world. So it's really very funny, you know. And sometimes that journals happens. And in USA, there are some chemistry journals that I know that accept only USA authors. They don't accept authors from other countries. So sometimes it happens, but you can check it, you can see it and understand these metrics. So about these additional metrics, I talk precisely on my journals for editors because it's important when you have your own journal. Also here, what you could also see, you could define journals by categories. For example, you need to choose journal for your publication, so you go for categories, and here you can find the different all our 200 and more categories. So here you can see the filter from the left, and you can see the categories. So you press here, and you can find your categories that you would like to have. For example, yeah, I need to go for agriculture, and here you can see the lot of agriculture topics. And for example, I go for agriculture engineering and go for apply. And here you can see, I can see the two collections for agriculture. And now the difference of the JCR that we have different editions. And the first edition is the edition Science Citation Index Expanded. There is a edition with impact factor with Quartile. And if you would like to choose journals with Quartile, you go for this. And this is the second one is the ESCI journal, this Emerging Sources Citation Index. It's like new emerging documents that just appeared in Web of Science, just accepted in Web of Science, but still not have an impact factor. So I better recommend you to publish in journals with Quartile, with impact factor, because it's new journals and like they maybe will go for the further collection, but maybe not. So we cannot say exactly. But anyway, these journals are also of a good quality. But all the journals that are indexed in our like all the collections, they are included in our normative documents, and you can choose these journals too. So here you can see the list of journals with all the metrics, and you can find the most appropriate journal for yourself. Yeah, and here you can see the percent of the open access gold. It means that is it journals we should pay for the publication or should not pay for the publication. And here you can see only mostly hybrid journals, yeah, because there are some part of open access, but some part some authors can publish without any publication fee. So you could see all this information here, yeah, that's like a ranked list, yeah, of the journals. So you can go for any journals and understand the metrics as I showed before, check these journals, and here you can see all of this information that is needed, yeah. So please precisely check the ISSN number of the journal, yeah, here you can see this, the name, the precise name, yeah, without any wrong prepositions or some words. So and then it will be a right choice of journals for yourself. So thank you for the attention. So if you have questions, I will be ready to answer these questions. And I think we could start our like Q&A session. So I think my time is now going up to the end, and we can discuss further maybe some interesting question, maybe for any other topic related to the journal. I also will try to answer. Thank you so much.
All right. So thank you, Inesh, for your super interesting presentation. So as I noticed that as let's say our faculty or the researchers should check first whatever information about the journal before really publishing, right? And what you have presented is really essential when publishing. So I'm checking if there are some questions. While waiting for some, I have some questions here. Maybe it was already mentioned, but how frequent we update the quartile ranking in Web of Science?
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you for the question. It's very actual. We update the quartile ranking once a year. For example, for the next year, we will update the quartile in the summer, in the end of June, the beginning of July of 2023. So once a year, in the end of the June, we update the quartiles and impact factor for the previous year.
Hello, Inesh again. I have one question for you. So as I know, there are some list of journals which are that can be in emergent source citation index collection. So my question is, are there any criteria like from how many time this journal will go to the other collection, or how many years should be in emergent source citation collection, then go to another collection? Could you please explain this? Because I saw that one journal was in emergent source citation index like about 5 or 6 years, and it's still there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the question. It's a very good question, like very useful question, because you know that in ESCI, an emergent source citation index, journal can be indexed for very long time. So it depends on the journal when the journal came on the upper level. If the journal is not making good efforts for being cited, for being recognized, for increasing the quality, it may not go to the higher collection. So it may stay forever in ESCI, or if it will go for the some bad quality, it can be withdrawn from the ESCI. So it depends on the journal performance. And journal, like what kind of article journal will publish. Will this article be cited? So it depends on the choice of the article. It depends on the editor. It depends on the editorial team, you know. So we cannot say exactly. Some journals are indexed in ESCI like for 2 years, and they go for higher collection. But you know, at least the journal need to be indexed for ESCI for 2 years to be, you know, to go higher. And like this minimum period of years, 2 years, and the maximum can be like many years. Yeah, it depends on the journal. So it's a very good question, very, you know, very versatile question, and how to work for journal editors. I also tell about it on my journals, on my webinars for journal editors, and I also invite you and your institution, for all the universities. I invite for these online webinars for all the countries, so you can join for any from any university. So this is like universal webinars for journal editors, because there are not so many editors in Kazakhstan, and I do it for all the countries. So, and tell precisely what to do to go higher, how to go for collection, yeah, for the higher collection. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Inesh. Maybe just one question. Is there a chance that a journal be removed from the list, from the what do you say? The emergence of citation list? Is there a chance that a journal can be removed from that list?
Yes, there is a chance, but it happens very rarely, because journal, it's very difficult to go for ESCI, even for ESCI, it's even difficult to go for ESCI. And if journalist went for ESCI, journal is trying to save its reputation, to be in this database. So it's you need to go to very strict criteria to go for ESCI. But very rarely it happens that we withdraw some journals, but not so much, not like 500 journals, 20 journals, 30 journals like Scopus do. So not so often. Yeah.
I have another question, Inesh, for you
Yeah.
again. I just want to ask about some journals, our one participant Matt mentioned before that some reputable journals can work with agents. So does Web of Science somehow control it? Like if they know that this reputable journal work with agents, like with developing countries, I don't know, can you control it, or do you have some like rules or criteria that will request publishers do not to work with agency or something like this?
Oh, yeah, also very, very good question, very deep question, you know. Yes, if our editorial will know about this, that some journals are working with some agencies or something, it's a bad sign for the journal. So it's not the politics that are appropriate for the Web of Science database. So journals should, if, for example, it affects the quality. If the citation are going down, for example, yeah, it was like Q1 and became Q2, then Q3. So it's very, very, you know, it's not a good sign. And if, for example, editorial team will go for the investigation, if the editorial team will have some, you know, signs of this, yeah, to know about some signs of this working with agencies. So sure, the journal will be on fire, yeah, and they will look precisely for these journals and can be withdrawn from the database, but it happens very rarely, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Inesh, for answering all those interesting questions. And I'm pretty sure that as our participants online and here in person are very, how do you say it, excited to publish their manuscripts in a reputable journal. Okay, so I think we doesn't have any questions at the moment. So again, thank you very much to Inesh online and Zhuldyz for gracing our event about this predatory journals and exploring more about it. So I think this ends our event today. And our profound gratitude to those who have attended the event in person and in online. You can watch the recording of this IL sessions on our YouTube channel. And again, we hope to see you on our next events. This have been April, your moderator. Thank you and have a good day. Yeah. Thank you so much, Inesh.
Thank you so much for the
Thank you,
invitation.
Inesh.
And
Bye.
thank you. Bye. Thank you.